Hello, hello, everybody. We are back. We are back to review and recap episodes 9 and 10 of Claim to Fame, the finale. And here to do it with me is my favorite guesser. I would never make you guess unless you wanted to. Jonathan, how are you doing today? And how are you doing knowing that pretty much our Claim to Fame journey is
It's a little sad. I mean, and obviously we don't know, as everyone knows if they've been following us, we don't watch the end, so we don't know the ending of who wins or whatnot. But yeah, I enjoyed the episode. I have thoughts about different things as well. Um, and yeah, I'm finally ready for it to come to. I mean, we've kind of known who these people are for a few weeks now, so
Mhm.
I'm ready for it
It's to
to
know who wins. Right? Basically, it's know who wins at this
go back
point.
down.
Who gets the crown? Did you miss not having it last week?
So I was busy.
Uh,
I was okay for a week off, and yeah, it was nice to. Normally, that really like I used to hate the episodes
d-
in like Survivor or even back in the day with America's Next Top Model, where they would have like a recap episode in the middle of the
mhm.
season, and I was like, oh, what an episode! But I was okay with it. I was okay with it.
Yeah, I was too, but I think I would have rathered them do an episode this week and end next week. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like having the devil episode. Like I do like doing the reveal with you. And so we didn't get to do that together for the first episode because we're recapping both of them. So I would have liked
but
them kept it stretched out. Go ahead.
they were full episodes. I didn't feel like they were, filler. Like there was like an
True. Oh
episode
yeah,
where
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
For
So that's
sure. Well, we have some friends joining us. Hi, Kathy. Kathy's here holding down the fort, reminding everybody that we do not know who won yet. We know up until that point, but we know the final two, who they are, but we don't know who Gabriel is going to be choosing to guess, himself or Monet. So we don't know that yet, and we don't know if they are going to guess correctly. So we'll keep that for our final reveal here tonight. Definitely love this cast. I love this season. I'm gonna miss it. I will miss it. Happy it's coming to an end, but I will miss it. Hi, Sarah. Sarah's hanging out here a little bit too. Oh, were you about to spoil Sarah? How dare you? Hi, Tamika. 2 hours was rough. We also watched Stars on Mars, and the finale was on last night too. I watched the first like 5 episodes of Stars on Mars. It didn't keep me. Have you been watching that one?
so I missed maybe the first one or two. I just didn't realize when it was on and didn't go back to watch it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I don't need to watch the season two if there was a season two, but I did watch it in its completion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it brought me. Stars on Mars that really nothing. Like it wasn't like competitions that I felt like were really anything. They were made up kind of nothings.
They
People
should have
that
just
are
taken that cast and put it on Celebrity Big Brother, and I probably would have enjoyed it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I had no idea with Lance Armstrong. I mean, his how much I dislike him.
Oh.
I wouldn't get along with him in one on one. Let's just say. So that was the only reveal for me. But
Well, the beginning of the first episode, so episode 9, called Disco Balls and Clue Walls, I thought the first scene was so fun with Monet and Gabriel. They're really there. They're visioning. So, okay, vision the 70s. And where are you? Who are you with? Which concert are you going to see? I liked that they were just so animated about the way that they were kind of brainstorming. Did you have any thoughts about this?
yeah, so I stepped away for a second to like make myself something to eat, and I was like, "Oh nope, nope, I love this." So I came back, rewound, and then it was just like, "Let me see this." It was fun.
Who do we see? Little Richard. I don't know if. Do you think Little Richard could be Chris's relative?
Well, I mean, she's like, "Wait, look at her weight."
And then he says the Osmonds.
So like it worked. That
It
kind
did
of
work.
yeah. But here's the thing: how could they skip around the Osmonds all season and then just all of a sudden this like random kind of brainstorming session where I wouldn't come up with the Osmonds necessarily, But every other situation, I would have come up with the Osmonds. So I was just wondering, I'm like, how could they skip around it yet? As we see throughout this episode or episodes, you know, they seem so familiar with the family, or at least Monet does.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how he pulled it out, but I think it must have been like they have had all these clues kind of just circulating around. And when you like, if you're trying to think of a name or something, and if you're really thinking hard, it doesn't come to you. But as soon as you just kind of relax and going with the flow, you're in like the shower or you're on a walk, you're like, boom, and like the answer appears. So I think it might have been that kind of vibe where it's just like they're just getting into the groove, and then it was just a flash of the Osmonds.
I would have loved for them to like roll with it a bit more, be like, oh my god, the coat, or like, what does he have to do with? I just want to see them connect that a little bit more. I think it's so obvious. I think he looks identical to. I actually looked up after that reveal. I looked up his children because I didn't know how many children he had or anything like that. And I was like, oh, he's the only son who actually looks like him that closely. Like if you brought any of the other four sons on,
You'd be like,
look wise, I wouldn't have known.
I mean, each of the other sons should be like, can I go on this show? Because they will have absolutely no idea who my celebrity relative. They probably won't even know Chris is my brother. That would actually be funny. They do say the baby's name is Ozzy, so they're thinking maybe Ozzy Osbourne potentially could have been an answer. Which baby is named Ozzy?
I don't know. Were they referencing
On the clue wall? Is there a baby that?
wall, or was it? Yeah, I didn't know where they got that name from. I was a bit confused with that. But I also instantly went to, I'm like, guess they didn't watch the Osbournes either. Like that's serious. I'm like, they would know the children, and even the Amy, the hidden child who didn't want on the show. Anyway,
So we see Chris and Carson next, and as much as they've been pretty great up until this episode, they are like, Carson is actually not good. Like at guessing and knowing stuff.
Chris is not good.
Chris is also not good.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to help each other, and I'm like, you guys got to stay away from each other because you like enable each other and like give like information that's not helpful for either of you.
And they roll with it with their
Yes.
answers. Yeah.
Because like all of a sudden now, Gabriel's related to maybe Reggie Bush, Emmett Smith Jr. I'm just like, I need you to make all the clues make sense for both of those people.
Yeah. And
not just naming black sports stars.
Right. Exactly. Make it make sense for sure. And I was going to say, who we were robbed of, and this is skipping way ahead, but our first boot of the season, his niece, because she was kind of a mess when she was giving in. She was like, yeah, and she was, when they're talking around the in the backyard, or whatever.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, she would have been such a mess throughout the whole season. I would have eaten that up. I loved it. I was like, oh, we were robbed of that all season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that we traded off for her meltdown episode 1.
Sure. I mean, I still would have preferred her to stay, knowing that she would have been, I think, totally off and like kind of been a hot mess the whole season.
But I'm sure that she would have ended up being in the bottom 2 a lot of times and have to guess. Like, I just don't know if there was going to be a way to save her because she doesn't seem to know a lot.
True.
As well. So they also say that the hat has like the little spinny hat for Gabriel's clue has the same colors as USC. Like they're making the weirdest things make sense. Don't make sense of making it a sports person. Make it sense of like the clues that you've seen in the game. There's only been 12 different people, right? So there's 12 different clues minus your own. So 11 other clues. Where does USC relate to any of the other clues?
They've never fed that to you, and they've like hand fed every other thing to everyone else. And even like some of the, I think it was just today that like the decoys in one of the challenges were ones that they had like thought of previously, like Jim Carrey's The Mask, or sports. Like they had, but they've never really fed them that like line of thinking. So I just don't know why they were still on that, just based off of what he's saying. I mean, of course they're lying. Like people want to win.
But like, and it's just like, I feel like, okay, fine. In the beginning, saying that my person's a sports star, whatever. But I feel like by this point, I'd be like, okay, he's definitely lying about this. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's just been no clues that support that I would not be able to still be on that train.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
zero. Like even on like the game that they played the last week we were together, where all the stars on the board, there was not one like sports person on there.
yeah. And they were making them quite obvious at that point too. So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like there's just nothing that's led you to that. Why do you consist just because he looks like and that would be your initial guess? I mean, you've been wrong about so many people about so many things. I don't know.
So we learn that Franklin is here by himself again, but there's going to be no immunity on the line this time, and everybody is eligible to be the guesser. So the stakes are definitely much higher. So this game that they're going to be playing, it's like they have three, like each of the other three players boards, and they have different clues that they have to place in different spots. So one spot is also known as, one was professional field, the other is a notable appearance, and the other one is notable co-stars. And so there's different clues, more than they need, obviously some red herrings as well, to place in the clue board. And then they get to, is it only once that they get to check it, or they check it as many times as they want?
It did seem like it was as many times. It was more than once, but it didn't seem like there were as many times as they wanted because he did mention, "Oh, you only have one check left." Because if it was me, I'd be like, "Swap check, swap." And yeah, that you're gonna. That's not great if someone ends up doing that. So they clearly had. I didn't catch how many they had. I don't know if they told us, but they clearly had a set amount, seeming like maybe three-ish. But
Oh,
two,
um,
something like
Sarah's
that.
just saying they just got 2
Is that what they
checks.
said? Yeah. So I missed that part, but yeah, I knew it was more than one, and I mean they were all taking forever with that board anyway. I was just a bit surprised that no one was going after Monet because I'm like they have no idea who Monet is. I know they all want to
Yeah,
confirm like Chris because so many people have been guessing him, but I'm like at least with Chris you've eliminated people. Monet you have not.
and
Um,
have no idea. You haven't even you have not tried anything. You haven't guessed wrong to know that any of your suspicions are out of the question. So absolutely, I would just be putting things. I would be putting clues up to try to process of elimination. Be like, okay, it's not that person. Okay, it's not that person. It's not that person. It didn't seem like anybody had a really good game plan.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to, make sure. I mean, they all noticed the sports thing with Gabe, and so they were like, okay, they knew that wasn't correct, but that was going to come about no matter what. Really, they were doing there, and the best thing of this is just try to get as many answers as possible, like verifying things like you're saying, and then compare notes with someone afterwards who, which I do think happened, and I do think that also helped. I didn't go back and rewatch, but I don't know if Monet got the Masked Singer
The
or
Masked Singer was got by Carson. She got 7 out of 12, so she actually got quite a few correct.
she shared that information afterwards with her, and I was like, "Ooh, did she?" It didn't look like she knew it before, but I couldn't remember if those were one of her 5 that she got right or 6
Yeah,
she got right or whatever it
it
was.
was.
But I was like, at least it seemed like to like a light bulb went off when Carson and her were talking about it afterwards.
Hmm. So Chris was second. On his first guess, he only got 2 correct. Yikes! But then he got 4 out of 12. I'm like, Chris, like, his system didn't seem that great. He was going quite slowly in the beginning. Yeah, I just he needs to have maybe done a little bit of studying before he came on the show because he really doesn't know anything. And is it because maybe he still lives in a little bit of a sheltered life of some sort? Because
Yeah, I feel like he knows the aspects of entertainment that his family, is in, but anything beyond that, like even when he was referencing The Masked Singer, he's like T-Pain because he watched that season that which was T-Pain won the first season. So
Mhm.
he must have been in the first season that his celebrity relative, aka his father, was in, and beyond that, he didn't know, anything. He like didn't even dawn on him at first, like
The host
the host could be, or because he's probably only watched that season. I feel like he doesn't even watch TV.
is wild to me. It's wild. Well, Gabe goes next. He's third, and he on his first guess he gets 5 correct, which is pretty good for his first guess. And then in the end, he ends up with 7 correct guesses. And then Monet on her first guess, she gets 3. She gets all of Chris's correct. And at the end, she had 6 out of 12. So she learns. What did we learn about Chris? What it was that he's the only son. Yes, the only son.
He,
I didn't write these down. I should have.
It's not it's the 7th son, I think, wasn't
Seventh
it?
son. Sorry, yes.
I was referring to Donnie, yeah. Or this, yeah, the 7th.
The 7th son.
Wasn't
Masked
it
Singer.
last singer was
it?
Gabriel.
Oh, just kidding. Dance with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars, because he won Dancing with the Stars. Wasn't Lucille? Hold on, who was Lucille
Ball? Yeah, it was Lucille Ball. Was his notable co-star.
Was that for him? I just didn't know. I actually don't know that. I don't know where. I was like, what was Lucille Ball?
Was it some maybe variety show? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I know I Love Lucy, and then she had a series after that with Ethel Merman still. Did she do something after that? I mean, I thought she died, but shortly after that second.
Was he on maybe like the remake with Nicole Kidman? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that clue refers to.
So. I watched that, and I don't think. Yeah, I was just wondering about that too. I forget what his 4th one was. But.
Notable appearance. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
Dancing with the Stars should have been notable appearance.
Oh, right. Professional field singer, and also
TV
known as
TV film.
Yeah,
he was
TV film.
Yeah.
No, he's music. Donnie.
Oh, was it
Donnie
music?
Osmond's music.
It was
is Gabe.
Gabe's, and then would have been Monet's.
And Monet's as well.
Yeah. And then his was music. What did it just say, music, or what did it say? I don't remember.
Me neither. It was too much writing down. I was like, So in the end, Gabriel and Carson were tied, and Gabriel ended up being 7 seconds faster. So he will end up winning this first challenge here. And that means that if there is a tie, wait, he gets to choose. Wait, what happened in this one? My brain's mush because I watched both episodes back to back.
Well, he gets to choose who the guesser is.
Oh, if there's a tie at the voting booth, he gets to choose who gets to go in. Correct? Is that this one?
Right. Yeah. You're right. And there was a tie. Yes. So he got to choose.
So Cheyenne here. Hi, Cheyenne says Donnie was on Here's Lucy. Okay, I don't know what that show.
Is that the series after?
Guess so.
Was that the series after with?
So apparently, Johnny did an episode of a different Lucille Ball show. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the series right afterwards. So was he? How many episodes did he do?
Like, I feel like it's like a one guest star where like I could just feel like the audience would be applauding as soon as he like walks through the door. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just like one episode guest star.
Yeah, because I just knew she did that with Vivian Vance, but I didn't know that he like. I mean, also, who would know? That was in the 60s to early 70s.
I definitely had no clue.
What a weird kind of reference. So,
especially since I mean, maybe they're just, I don't know, maybe they're thinking that like, let's just put something way out there because like we can't give all these obvious clues and like they don't seem to get it. So,
I mean, I think you could probably have something current that's like, but anyway.
So they all think that Gabriel is shady because Carson was able to deduce that Gabriel is definitely not from have a sports relative because all of her clues were wrong. She put all clues stuff that had related to sports and they were all dead wrong. So do you think that Gabriel's shady?
No, he's playing the game. I mean, he was probably ready for this, that he would come into a challenge that would expose all of it. And it's about when it exposes it, you want it to be like at the last second, at the end kind of a thing. I mean, ultimately, I think he probably is playing the best game, but I would say, and like, again, I don't know what happens. I would guess that Monet wins because I just don't know that people are that familiar with her celebrity. I think he's the least famous out of all of them still. And so, but I think no, I think Gabe was like really, listen, he's has an in with Chris, and he has an in with Monet, and it was like, yeah, I thought he was doing what he needs to do. He's lying about it. People were buying it.
I mean, they shouldn't be buying it. Like like just be less gullible. Don't You can't blame Gabriel for like choosing not to tell you exactly who his relative was, and just be mad at yourself for being gullible. So Carson is talking to Monet, and she tells her about the Masked Singer. So Monet thinks that she has definitely figured it out at this point. We know that she's kind of already stumbled onto some other clues. She kind of was like, we felt that she figured it out, but that's probably confirmation there with the Masked Singer. Then Chris comes in, and I don't know if it was Chris or Carson, but one of them asks, how many kids does T-Pain have? I'm like, I can't. It's not T-Pain. The Monet must have been like,
shocked that he even got that reference and or knows who T-Pain is, because I'm like, first of all, The Masked Singer is a hit, currently still a hit series that's on all the time. And his relative, with the babies, like famously, like has 1 million children in the last several years, and had twins with a huge pop star, Mariah. And so I'm like, how do you not know who his person is? Like, it's just so. Why would you go to like, yeah,
I mean, I guess like what Donnie was like second, probably, or third, right? He probably did decently.
He was
well.
like top 3 for sure.
Yeah. So maybe he remembers T-Pain because he beat his dad.
Yeah.
But like, I would definitely remember the host of the show, or just like it would be something that I would think about. There's so many Masked Singer references, Masked Singer, Masked Singer, Masked Singer. Like we learned that Jenny McCarthy's there, right?
Yeah. Who else was on the show you'd be thinking of? There's,
I'd also be thinking like, oh, if someone was on Dancing with the Stars, they probably were on at some point Masked Singer, or vice versa. I don't know which one would come first. So yeah, they're not too bright. But T-Pain, I don't even know what T-Pain looks like. Yeah, I do, but like I wouldn't go directly to T-Pain, I don't think. And thinking that he has a lot of children. Monet was also just like thought that they knew who it was, and then they come in with T-Pain. She's like, oh, okay, I'm still good. So people are treating Gabe differently, and he's feeling kind of upset. Oh, poor guy. He's getting ostracized because he lied. People get so bitter.
Hey, listen, it's down to it. It's down to it. I'm not surprised. Like, this is when, the claws come out for all of them, and you're trying to win. I'd do the same thing. I want to win. So I would be.
You would be lying.
Oh, of course. I'm like, you would think that I'm like, you think that Lance Armstrong's my father. Like,
yeah, if you were to go in, what would you try to get? Who would you really go for as your celebrity relative? Who would you try to fake?
I would really try to find out what they're pushing and what that natural narrative is, or what the clues or people are picking up, and really just play my social game to get my ears out there and pick up on that, and then push don't let me pick my narrative for them. Let them come to me with stuff and see what it is, and then push that subtly. So that's what I would do.
I mean, that's pretty good. I probably would like come into it maybe with have some knowledge of some people to maybe be able to play it off. So like once I saw the clue wall, I could be like, ooh, I can maybe convince people that it's this person or that person. Like I think I would just have some history about some other celebrities that I could maybe pretend a little bit.
And I also wonder if they cast knowing that
they have no idea about anybody.
Well, that these people have connections with,
right.
So there's a lot of overlap, or if that's a coincidence because a lot of these people would do those types of shows and stuff like that. But there's like multiple overlap with the Masked Singer. Like you have Jenny, you have Nick, you have Donnie who was on it. Like, so there's a lot of celebrities were on that, as well as there's been some overlap with some other things. So if
Puppy Love, yeah,
I would just
Puppy Love and Dolly Parton.
I would just make sure that I knew my relatives. Like if my relative was on the Masked Singer, I would make sure I knew all. I mean, I've
all 60 degrees of separation in every direction. Like, okay, who was he a co-star with on what show? Who did he sing with? Like, who had a number one album at the same time? Whatever it is, yeah, 100%.
In case there was that overlap and they cast people, then I'm like, okay, it could be this, or like try to pick out where the red herrings might be too. So,
do you think there'll be a season 3?
Oh, for sure. I
And
don't
do you
know.
think that they'll become more savvy?
Um,
Because like, look at we already like decided how we would come into the game. Is it because we're gamers, or is because like
I don't think we're at that point where like a lot of reality shows where they people coming know how to play the game and know how to game it like that. And I do think a lot of these people, and there's a lot of relatives who are far removed from that, who aren't fans of necessarily reality TV or anything like that, and they can just pluck them up and run with it that way. So I don't know how the casting process works for this show. If they're, I would assume that they're sought after, and notices get put out rather than people applying for it. Like, hey, I'm a relative. Oh, I guess I have to reveal who my relative is today.
you do. So Adrian here is saying that they're already casting for season 3. So yeah, a third is most likely happening. Yay! Fun. I mean, I guess it's like also the writer's strike is still a thing.
Actor strike, writer's strike, all that stuff. Yeah.
It's like they need content, and like this one I think would be a success for sure. Oh, Vicky is also saying like maybe we didn't see that there was an ad because the cast. I watch on a Canadian channel.
Block a lot of
I do you know what though? Maybe next time I'll watch it on what's it, ABC? I'll watch on ABC so that I can see these commercials.
They wouldn't be able. I'm assuming the Jonas Brothers are SAG members, so they wouldn't be able to actually film until that strike is resolved. But and I mean, there are writers on the show as well for clues and whatnot, so they can get the ball rolling, but they can't, actually film until
unless
those are resolved. Which it's not supposed to be resolved. I know because until next year is the rumor.
So Monet does go over to Gabe and reassures him that they have absolutely no idea who he is, because he's thinking like they have all the clues that they need to figure out who his person is, and he doesn't have an obscure person. I feel like his person's very much in the limelight right now. Yeah. Like he's married to who was married and had children with one of the biggest celebrities in the world. Like you have to know who that is. Yeah. You have to. So Chris and Carson, you're chatting. They still have no clue. But Monet wants to keep Gabriel as her sure shot because she knows who he is for sure, 100%. And so she's going to start tricking them to make them feel as though T-Pain is the right answer. So she goes in or they come into her and she starts showing her book of like how to make T-Pain be the correct answer. How do you think of her strategy here?
I just want to know how much time she spends. I would have like done different ink on that page that like clearly she made up 5 minutes before. Like I would have been like, I've been thinking about this for a while. Actually, let me flip back to this. I would also do that in my book.
Leave open pages so you can go back.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Like but I mean, clearly we saw that it didn't really work. Chris called her out when she left to Carson
because TV film was the correct profession. So Chris doesn't trust Monet now. Well, you shouldn't trust anybody at all. So Gabe, Chris, and Carson are talking, and they're thinking Terry Crews now for Monet. This is better.
Yeah, I don't hate the Terry Crews. I mean, I do at this point in the game, but but at the same time, they really haven't tried Monet out and really tried to figure it out or put people up guessing it, or in this challenge went for clues for her specifically, and so I'm not surprised. But at least Terry Crews, like some elements can make sense,
some, but definitely not all. Definitely not all. So Carson wants to take the shot, and I'm like, I guess because she knows that most people are pretty on to her celebrity relative, so she wants to at least take the chance and potentially go out or be safe, like go out on her own hand. She doesn't want someone else to take her out. So I get that. Would you have done the same if you were her? I know you would never be her.
I would never be her. Oh, my dog just fell off
Rylan.
just got a little wild over here on the windowsill. But sorry, I was distracted. Would I be Carson? Never. In what was the decision that she made that you were asking?
To take the shot for herself. So like she wants to be the guesser. She doesn't want someone to guess
Well, I
her,
mean,
essentially.
yeah, you have to because they're going to. She knows that they know. Like, she was lucky earlier on that it was like a 50-50 and they went the other way. So at this point, it's like you have to do. I mean, I just didn't see a way that Carson was winning anyway, even if she survived this round. But to me, it's like, and I still think I don't know how Monet loses. Um, but yeah, I mean, Carson at the very least had to do this. That was her only chance. I just the thing too is like if you have the Saturday Night Live clue,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Then you know that it can't be, like that. That's facts. Like the clues that they give you are, so you have to
Yeah.
know that, right? So I don't know. I mean,
Well, then Chris is begging Monet to give Carson Gabe's info, and like she made it now be what's Kel's last name?
oh, I don't just know Keenan and Kel.
I think just Kel and well, Keenan and Kel. Keenan and Kel. Sorry, guy. I know we're not American. We didn't watch this show. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And so then we see Carson look at Monet's book, and it seems like she figured something out. Now, do you think she actually figured something out, or do you think it was a red herring? What do you think
Oh, I don't remember
was
that
her
part.
light bulb?
Look at Monet's book.
Remember, she goes over to Monet and she's like, okay, let me see those clues. Because Monet was like, oh yeah, good burger. And like there was a burger as one of the clues. And then she goes over to Monet's book and she's like, I want to write down exactly what you wrote down. And then
Oh,
she's like,
I
oh,
remember looking at it, but I was just thinking the whole time, like, Carson has no idea.
oh,
And,
Cal Mitchell. Thank you, Tamika.
I'm like, and you're going home. I was thinking that was, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she knew. I mean,
So we are at the final four guess off over at the photo booth. So we see Gabe. He chooses for himself to be the guesser here. Carson chooses herself also. Monet chooses Gabe and Chris chooses Carson. And we're going to get a tie break here that Gabe gets to make. And so then we see a flashback. How'd you like this flashback?
remind me. It was a long show, too. I watched this part last night.
Was a flashback of Gabe and Monet talking about like how like he really wants to be able to guess, and so like she wanted to let Carson guess, but like then he kind of convinced her to make him guess.
Oh, yeah, I was a bit confused as to like, maybe I wasn't fully paying attention, but I was a bit confused going into it, being like, wait, I thought that it was. I even thought I saw them raise different. I didn't think it was going to be a tie, so I was just trying to figure out how that happened. But I didn't rewind. I didn't have time, so I didn't. But yeah. So I don't know how I feel about the flashback. Moving on.
Well, Carson is pissed because Gabe is going to be choosing himself to be the guesser and is choosing Carson. So Carson did think that she had something with Monet. I think Monet made a promise of some sort to Carson that she was going to choose her to allow her to guess. But then making it a tie means that obviously Gabe, being the winner, was going to choose whomever he wanted, and it wasn't going to be her. So Gabe is going to be guessing Carson. And he guesses Dale Earnhardt Jr. Well, Sarah, I know that you knew this all along because apparently Sarah's from a race car watching family. When we see that this is correct, so Carson will be leaving the game. Did you recognize her celebrity relative?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I knew what Dale. I mean, I knew what he looked like weeks ago. He's probably
I think I know what Jeff Gordon looks like. I don't think I knew what Dale looked like.
he's probably like I was gonna say he's probably the only one outside of Jeff Gordon as far as professional racers that I probably know what they look like. So if it was like not one, I knew it was the other one. But yeah, I mean it was her time. People knew it a long time ago. So yeah, I think the rightful final three are those three.
100%. That's what kind of we were saying the whole time. We're like, those are our final three. I think that they brought the most entertainment, in my opinion, like sustaining entertainment for every episode. I know you would have loved to see a little more Carly, but these three have been driving all the storylines for the whole season. So I do think that they were the rightful final three. And so I was happy that we called it.
Yeah.
This would be the best final three.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we are on our final episode here called Needle in a Haystack. Kevin is back. So thank you, Kevin, for coming back to host the finale here.
And I just want to say something about that. They clear those dates before you get booked on something. You know what I mean? So they obviously okayed for him to miss several episodes, which is questionable. But I mean, okay. I guess it was like,
or maybe was the gag or it was like the gimmick.
Like they knew he was clearly on tour and he was probably pulling double duty. And I just feel like, either something emergency like came up or to me, they would have had to have cleared it. I could see one day being like kind of accidental whoops, but
unless maybe their dates changed. Maybe filming dates changed and he already, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe he said yes, booked out those dates, and then they changed the shoot dates.
I just work so often with people having 2, 3, 4 shows all at once. And those dates, you need to clear them. They're locked. So you have to have bookable dates and they don't move for any reason. So to me, it was like they must have okayed it, which I thought was a choice. But if it's either like, hey, we have you or we don't, because this is when it needs to film, they're like, okay, I guess we just have.
Or maybe this is Franklin's way of taking more of a leading role.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind it. It was just like
So R. Johnson here saying that they may be preparing themselves to give the keys over to Franklin for future seasons. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just want to see if he could carry the show on his own.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is like, it's celebrity relative.
How much do you think the Jonas Brothers got paid for this season?
Like
$100,000, probably.
Do we think that they'd get paid differently or the same?
Ooh.
Do they have the same agent? I'm gonna find out after this.
So I don't know. It would depend on what their contract was. If it's like per episode or if it's for the whole season. If it's the whole season, then no. If it's per episode, he got like a bump when he was doing double duty. So
I think if they okayed it and they knew he was doing, only 8 out of 10 or whatever, however many episodes are, I forget. But they would have done it episodically. But I can find out.
Find out and put a video, and then I'll post a video.
But otherwise, it would be they would have a fee for pretty much the season. I mean, you would base it episodically, but you would have a guaranteed amount of episodes. So it would be like, if there's how many episodes were there? 10, 13?
10. 10.
So it'd be like, booking said Jonas as a 10 episodes with a guarantee of like 10 episodes. So I mean, there's so many different ways to do deals, but I think that they probably knew about it ahead of time, his dates, and they probably
factored it into his contract.
Yeah.
True that. So all their former competitors are also back. And so everybody's been sequestered. They haven't been able to use their phones or watch anything on TV.
Okay, I was going to ask, because I missed that part clearly. I was going to say, I'm like, were they able to get back to real life? Because that's not fair. They could just like Google. And I mean, like, we know people slip into things, and like I watch Drag Race. If anyone watched Drag Race out there, that season, even like 5, 6 people were sneaking cell phones, they were sneaking out, all those kinds of things. So I loved seeing everyone back, but unless you had them locked up in a jail cell, I don't know how fair it is, because I feel like they could have snuck some information and some digging, and can then choose who they want to reward with that information. I don't know how I felt about it. I like seeing them as a viewer, but I didn't know if it was the fairest thing in the world.
Well, I was wondering, why isn't anybody asking Jane what's going, like all these clues? Because Jane was the oldest person, I believe that was on the season. She seemed to know the most. She went out in a poor fashion. Like if she thought about it properly, I think she would have realized her mistake and that she wouldn't have made that guess. And so I was like, why isn't anybody talking to Jane? And as soon as I finished that thought, we see Chris talking to Jane. So Chris at least knows who to get the information from. So that's at least a smart move on his part, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, these things are, I'm sure, highly edited, but at the same time, so everyone could have talked to everybody. But yeah, it was nice at least seeing and confirming that that was the case. And because, I feel like everyone should have been speaking to Jane. I
Yeah.
would. I would. She has that vibe of like you want to go to her, you want to ask her these questions, like you feel like she would know, and she did know.
Well, Chris and Carson talking again still do not know who Gabriel's celebrity relative is because they're still going down the Terry Crews lane. They are linking clues on the clue wall to make it make sense. So they're convincing themselves. Shane, though, has figured out who Monet's person is. And then Shane tells JR. JR is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So you're right, you're right, you're right. And so he goes over to Monet and is talking about her forehead being exactly like her celebrity relative. But Monet wants Gabe to guess wrong. So she's hoping that both JR and Shane will keep her celebrity relative to themselves. Do you think that that JR is going to tell Gabe?
It's really hard to decipher who is telling who what, again, because we're not seeing all of it, I'm sure. So I was just kind of lost in the mystery of like, we'll see. I guess we're going to find out shortly who actually told what to who. We might have another flashback where they reveal someone whispering to someone, actually, I think it's this. So yeah, I was just like allowing my not much thought to come to mind with any of that and just be like, okay, let's see what's going on. I was actually really surprised that that Shane was knowledgeable of that when she just wasn't knowledgeable about some other things in this episode too. I forget what it was, but I was like, "Hmm."
Well, Shane doesn't give Gabe anything. So I think that she's team Monet in this situation. She wants Monet to do well. So she's withholding information from Gabe. It's probably after were they sequestered from each other? Because maybe they were all allowed to talk because our Johnson here saying once they're eliminated, they're sequestered in a hotel, no contact. Okay, no contact with other contestants. Couldn't go anywhere without PAs accompanying them and no technology still.
That's the same rules for everything, and it doesn't all. It doesn't. There's, how many cracks there are. There's so many cracks. Get people. Hey, can you pass this to the, all that stuff. It's not. It's not as secure. I mean, if it was,
But what if it's like, hey, like you don't get your stipend if we catch you? Because remember that guy got kicked off on season 1 for having a phone?
yeah, I mean, that definitely can happen, and you breaking the rules. I'm just not sure that everyone's really cares all that much because there's a lot of rule breaks with these things. But maybe they didn't. Maybe, sure, we can take it for their word that they were all good and didn't do anything. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't take, like, this whole show's probably shot in what, 2 weeks time, because they do have like a full day, and then these are at night, so it's not like they shoot like 2 episodes in one day or anything like that. But yeah.
So the next then final challenge is it's pretty fun. So they're going to be putting all the clues in order. So there's 12 spaces. The first 3 are the unknown clues of the final 3, and then they have to put it in order of where people were eliminated. So I thought that this was really fun. It kind of is a callback to Big Brother final rounds where you have to remember like who was eliminated next and figuring out clues that way. And then within the haystacks, it wasn't like the celebrity relative's name. It actually was a physical clue that they had to place in order. So I thought that this was, it wasn't that fun to watch, but it would be fun to participate in. And I thought it was clever as a challenge for the contestants.
Yeah, I still liked it. I again was like, at first I'm like, wait, do they have different sections or where are they headed? But I initially thought, I was like, oh, Chris, what a weird selection for a team. But then I'm like, oh no, you're picking the right people. I think you're picking the people who are probably the most like will help you, figure out what clues for what seemingly. So, because at first I was like, oh, wouldn't you want to pick the muscle who can kind of get through that quickly? But then no, you want to pick the people who can help you put it in order if they need to, like people who've been there longer or people who will be able to figure out the clues with you. So yeah.
So the winner of this challenge is going to get to choose who is going to be the first guesser and who they are going to be guessing. And it's going to be, as you mentioned, a team challenge. So all the former contestants are going to be selected by the final three, and Gabriel gets to start first. So he chooses, in the end, Cole, Travis, and Hugo. Chris chooses Carson, Jane, and Olivia. And Monet chooses JR, Carly, and Shane. Now, I think that Gabe took the other route and went for a little bit more muscle, so he can get the clues fast and get them in order quickly. And then, because like also having the other teams have more time with their people is a disadvantage. So like getting that muscle to get those clues up on the board fast. I think that was the way to go. I think this time.
I would have wanted a mix, to be honest with you. I would have wanted someone who had been there, throughout, who can help me with it. I also would have tried to pick someone, if it was up to me, someone who can get like who's more physical. So I mean, it also depends on who I am. But for me, I would want both because I think I could do both. I think I'd be good with the memory stuff, but I also think I'd be good, half decent with the physical elements of it as well. But just like backup, a backup crew.
Well-rounded team for sure.
Yeah, someone with good
So
vision.
I only wrote down what I could see because I didn't have a chance to like rewatch. So the clue was a bejeweled bra. Was that Dolly Parton?
I don't know. Did they reveal who they all were? Because
Not
like,
really. I mean, I didn't take a picture of the order. We
because I
could
think
figure it
the
out
all
that
one
way.
they were like who, and then someone maybe it was Carson was like just put on mine for now, or like I don't. Yeah, I didn't see. That's what I wanted to see more of, like a shot where they were like showing you when it was like right or this or that. I just didn't. If it happened, I didn't register it, so it wasn't long enough. But
Yeah, Kathy's agreeing with you, saying that Olivia said put it to hers. So I
there's a
guess
yeah.
maybe I don't know if I would think bejeweled bra for her
Yeah, I mean,
necessarily.
there was a lot there, and it was all happening really quickly, so it didn't really sink in who has what. I just remember Nick's being the most obvious. Like, if you've watched any season of The Masked Singer, you like who wears
His
that? You know what I mean?
turban. Me, I do wear a turban, but
I mean, like on TV, like
I
most
know.
visible, famous people. Like, who do you think? Like, if I see a turban,
I
I
think
Nick.
of Nick
Yeah,
100%,
100%.
or like a genie. Like
Yeah, but like name a famous like I Dream of Jeannie. No, it's like you would think like
Sinbad, maybe?
Nick Cannon, like yeah, I was like, oh, they really, and also to be fair, Chris is, Donnie on like
Okay, so Chris had there was a 70s lunchbox with like Marie and Donnie or whatever, yeah, whatever it was. Like I've seen that
scratch
lunchbox before.
showcases. Yeah, I
Like
mean, so obvious.
it was really obvious. But like we were saying, like even if they wrote Donny Osmond, they'd probably be like, I wonder if it's T-Pain or what, you know what I mean? Like they just would not get it. But I thought it was a very, very, very obvious clue for poor Chris. And then he has to go put it like in his spot. So people are going to know that that is his clue and that it's
Yeah.
correct, you
I
know?
think he spotted it anyway, but it's like, why wouldn't you make that the last one? Like,
Absolutely.
because he made it the second last one, and he was like, "Oh, I should have put it up," and he was still missing one. I'm like, just make it the last one. So if
Or
you don't
put it in wrong order and then switch it.
So if you don't, because the last one you're putting up there for everyone to see, all the rest are kind of hidden. So it's like just make it your last one, and then you're not admitting that that's your clue. Um,
Callie said that was unfair. I probably owned that lunchbox at one point.
what was
There's
I forget what
also
the names.
well, Carly got a rock. So would you have Carly on your team?
Oh my god! At least Monet's like this is part of the ground. Like, what are you talking about? No, it's what's his faces.
Yeah,
Um,
I totally agree, Cheyenne. Cheyenne thought that the clues were obvious, but it was a little unfair that it literally had Donnie's face on it.
what was I don't remember Monet's at all though. What was
Okay, so there's a telescope. I'm assuming that's Travis's clue.
Mhm.
Judge gavel.
Was it the Jenny? Was that Jenny McCarthy's?
I guess so.
Because she's a.
Because a judge on, yeah, I guess on The Masked Singer. Giant key. I guess Alicia Keys.
Mhm,
Pink cowboy hat. Little Nas X. The
right.
volleyball. Oh my God, Carly would have been like, volley Wilson. Like she would have had like a meltdown if she was still in the game and they had that Wilson
Oh,
ball.
I should have thrown it at somebody.
John, Sophie thinks that you look like an Osmond.
I've gotten that before. I used to get that when I was younger and thinner, and thinner in the face. I used to get that all the time. It was Donny Osmond or um, this is not my words. This is their words. People would be like, "Oh, the fat kid from The Sopranos" is what they would call me, and it would be
No.
customers. So I worked for the Americans out there, essentially like a video store for 10 years, like Blockbuster, but ours here also does cable, internet, wireless, home phone. We call it Rogers. And so I worked there. So I'd be in the cable section and all that stuff, or the cell phone section, and they would run out to the video section and show me the back of this him.
That's
So
actually amazing.
it was either him or Donny Osmond. I would get all the
Wait,
time.
I need to find this picture. So what's this person's name?
I don't know. They literally every single person, and it was all the time. Would be like the fat kid. He's lost a lot of weight. Shouldn't call people names, but that's the wording that they used when describing it to me at that time. That's their job.
Oh, wait, like the goth kid?
He wasn't goth. No, from The Sopranos. He was one of the son.
I know, but like,
I
I
mean,
haven't seen
sure,
all these
they weren't
Sopranos.
wrong. They weren't wrong.
Okay, but okay, hold on. No, it can't be this kid.
They. Do you wanna look at
Okay, hold on. Let me share this. This
there's
is
some
cute.
facial hair in later seasons. I never watched The Sopranos. It's Anthony John Soprano Jr.
Oh, not this guy. Do you see this kid?
Not him. No.
That's why I said I'm like the little goth kid.
You look like Pugsley when you were little, Jonathan.
Okay, what's his name?
And what did I say? Anthony Soprano Jr. I mean, that's the character's name. That's the thing. Just
Anthony what?
those-
Casso?
Anthony Soprano Jr. It's well, I can look it up. Sopranos kid. Steven Sopranos kid.
Oh, I actually know who that. Oh, him? Okay.
Like that one, like the one not with the long hair, but the one in the suit or the one next to it, or the one with the chain with the gray shirt. I look like, I did look like that when I was younger.
Maybe a little bit. Wait, take out your glasses. Let's see.
I filled it.
I mean, I've seen people try to make me look like somebody else for sure before that looks less like that.
But I mean, I must have been told that 50 times in my life. So,
well, I was told my entire life from I was probably about 8 years old that I look exactly like Whoopi Goldberg.
I don't think you do.
Thank you.
I love Whoopi Goldberg. I mean,
I don't look like her.
I don't keep up with Whoopi Goldberg's what she says on The View, so but I heard she says questionable things. I'm not quite sure, but I've loved her since Sister Act, even before. But I don't think you look anything like.
Me neither, but from I was 8 years old, people's moms would tell me this. When I was in high school, people used to think I looked like Brandy. So I got Brandy a bit when she was kind of famous. I'm like, can I look like Monica? I want to look more like Monica than Brandy. But I used to get Brandy all the time. People used to like ask me for my autograph and be like, I don't believe you. And I'm like, I'm not Brandy. Brandy's not in Toronto right now. At all. Okay, what other clues do we have here? So there was the checkered flags. We obviously know that's Carson's clue for the race car driving. The stuffed donkey, we're assuming that's Shane's clue for Eddie Murphy. And then the black turbans. That's all that I wrote down. Did I miss any? Oh, and then the final one was, as Monet, our Johnson here was saying, the glasses with the Caesar's crown headpiece.
Oh, right. Which I actually still don't get, knowing who.
Well, someone said it. They said that like He's in some sort of commercial in the States.
Oh, was it?
Yes, and like his glasses, those glasses are very much him. But I don't know if he wears glasses and the crown, or if it's like two clues in one. Like I don't know.
He often wear, yeah, like glasses. I know him for like the black glasses with the thicker. But I don't the with the Caesars thing, whatever. With the I didn't get that at all. I'm like I know who it is, and I knew it from other clues, but I don't know that reference myself. But.
So Kathy's saying that he has commercials for Caesars Sportsbook, a betting site.
We probably don't get it even if we did. I fast forward through all the commercials.
True. And I've been watching this on Canadian television, so we don't get American commercials.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
So Jane does tell Chris that when she sees these glasses that, oh my God, that's JB Smooth. Wait, is that after? Hold on. Players are hiding clues. He puts a turban on. Clue is him. Glass for Caesar. Yeah. Well, Jane at some point tells Chris that JB Smooth is that clue. And I'm like, Jane should have been here longer. She should have been like, I can't believe she went out on Elvis Presley.
Well, it's just such a interesting, like, I am surprised that she knew the name because I'm like, I think I could ask 20 people and not a single person would know who that is. Like, and show the photo and be like, I don't know who that is. So he's just way more obscure. I mean, at least here. And in my working knowledge of within the industry, it's like if I brought that name out to people, and every name out on this cast, I guarantee you he'd be the least known. So
well, okay, I feel like I know the face and I know the name, and if I had like 12 mugshots and the name, I would be able to put his face. Sure. Yes. So
yeah, it's a distinct name. So like yeah, you're right. But like, and his clues that they were giving to more, like, no one knows that he was on SNL because he was just a writer. He wasn't a performer. Never got his skits made into a thing that he was in himself, like some of them do.
And I don't watch.
And it was for one
Spider-Man. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they really set it up, whether it's on purpose or not. But they really set it up for a Monet win, or at least Monet till the end. So because the clues were just so obscure, I don't know him well enough to, say. But like everyone else's clues from their little the thing that they get that they win, they're like, oh my God, I know who that is. Whereas like for me anyway, but for his, it was just like really had to think about it mixed with some other stuff.
Thank you, Kathy. I will take a look after so I can see this commercial. Fun. I'd play it on here, but that'll be a copyright strike. So Gabriel does get the last clue and he is able to beat everybody out and win. So he's automatically going to be in the final two and choosing who is going to be facing, or who's going to be the guesser and who's going to be the target for the second to last guess off. So Monet knows both Chris and Gabe's people, celebrity relative. And she says, I think I got this one in the bag. Now, is that saying that she wins, or do you think that that's saying that she loses?
Well, I just think that, I don't know. I still think Monet wins. I mean, I think, sure, Gabriel has won the final two competitions, right? But, and it really dictates, the last one did too, how it's going to go. And I feel like I just see him and her and I'm like, he doesn't know. I mean, unless someone told him, but then it's like, that's the thing. It's like, it almost negates the whole season because they've been able to figure out his based on things that have happened nearing the end, but also, clues, and it all makes sense. Whereas like hers would have been like, someone
told you.
I mean, I don't know if I love that. So yeah, I mean, I want either of them to win, but I just feel like it's going to be her for some reason.
Well, I'm wondering if the fact that they're saying like, I think I got this one in the bag, it's like
doesn't.
Yeah, it's like she thought so, but she didn't get it.
And he's won out a lot, and has played a great game, so he's very deserving. Yeah.
So I was thinking at this point that Chris was going to get the opportunity to guess here, and that he was going to be able to guess correctly. So that's what I was kind of thinking, because we did just hear Jane tell Chris Monet's person, and so I was thinking that like maybe Gabriel will say, Chris, you're the guesser, thinking that he doesn't know and guessed wrong, but then he might actually guess right. So that's what I was thinking. And I was like, uh-oh, that might not be good. So when they're all talking, this is where Carly's being a hot mess. Like, she's just sending people down a rabbit hole of wrong answers. But he says that it's Jay Favreau. Or Favreau. No, wait, Farrow. Sorry, Farrow. Jay Farrow. Jay Farrow's in Maverick, right? That's Jay Farrow?
He's an SNL. He was an SNL.
But he's in Top Gun Maverick, though, correct?
I have not seen. I have no idea.
I've actually seen Top Gun Maverick, guys. Can you believe it?
I watched the original Top Gun a million times, which does not seem like who I am as a person, as an adult. But the new one I have not seen at all. He is known for his impersonations on SNL. He did all of the impersonations.
I think he was. I need to look this up just to know that I'm right.
Jay Farrow.
Farrow. Oh, maybe not. No, he's not. He's not. It's not.
I haven't seen him act in anything, I don't think, other than doing skits on SNL.
Who am I thinking of? It's another J. Hold on. Let me see. Maverick. Okay, I'm wrong. But who? I think it's another J. But when I saw his picture, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. So this is who Carly says that is going to be Gabriel's relative, and Carson's like, yes, that's it. Oh my God, it's it 100%. I'm like, Carson, you are always wrong. She's wrong and strong. She just goes hard for being wrong.
And they kind of do the thing where, wait, but were they in this? And they're like, probably, yeah, I know, I think so. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll make stuff fit, and you're like, are we sure about that?
Nope. So Jane comes over and joins Carly, Chris, and Carson, and she says that, so they're all thinking that the Terry Crews is a possibility, and she's saying like, yeah, like the direction that you guys are going is absolutely correct. Do you think that she's leading them astray on purpose?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Like, they can each have their own motivations there, and like who they want to support and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and again, we don't see everything, so I was just blissfully unaware of what was actually true and what wasn't.
Vicky here is saying, I wonder what Carly's reaction was when she not only saw Gabriel as a finalist, but won most comps after saying he wasn't smart in her exit. I mean, that's another reason why I wouldn't be surprised if Gabriel won, is because in the very beginning, her being like, Gabriel, he's not even smart. And I'm wondering if like that was also left in because Gabriel will end up winning the game, you know? Another reason. Yeah, they're not a good duo. I mean, they're great for comic relief, comedic relief, but so Monet says Chris is 100% Donny Osmond is his celebrity relative, and I think she's saying this to Gabriel. Would she try to convince him to let her guess? Was that what happened there? Probably.
Yeah, it's so iffy. I didn't play out all the scenarios in my head because it was just, quick, and I watched this element of it today. But like, it's always dangerous giving information away if you know all the cards. I mean, like, I also don't know that Monet was at risk of. Did she think she was at risk of being like guessed? So I don't know. If you think you are, that's when you should be the guesser, especially if you know who the person is. But if you don't think you're at risk for it and you don't think anyone knows who you are, then I don't know why you would even risk yourself. So it depends is my answer, because I just don't know what she felt at the time and what was really going on. So
I mean, I think she was just scared that people just know who she is and just hasn't said anything to her.
Yeah, maybe. And then you're like,
and then she also wants to determine who she has to guess. I guess she could guess either, but if she's out of the game, she wouldn't be able to. So I think she just doesn't know, with all those new people coming back, like, did they get, I mean, Chris did get her person. So if Chris did end up guessing her, she would have been out of the finals.
Yeah. But, also, if you're wrong, you're out of the finals too. So, but I think she was like 100% certain. So that's probably it. She was like, I know who these people are, so I'm good.
So this is the final guess out. The first guesser, I was thinking it was going to be Chris. But he doesn't like that Monet knows who his celebrity relative is. Who did you think that Gabriel was going to choose this time around?
Oh, I had no idea. I had no idea. I was, like I said, he's been working with both. I feel like, wait, who does Gabe know?
Gabe knows it's who Chris's is from what.
Yeah. So I don't know. I still didn't think because it all happened so quickly, like what he was going to do. I don't know. I didn't have any anticipation about that whatsoever. But I just thought it was weird to leave the person in the game that you don't know who their person is.
Correct. That's also why I thought he was going to choose Chris to pretend. But I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter if she's mad at you, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no jury that's voting for a winner.
Unless he got intel of who she was and just hasn't said anything yet.
Well, that's my whole thing with this whole episode. It's like, who knows? Because they all came back and talked. So it's like, who knows? But maybe we're not seeing it yet. But I was just like, why would you do that if you don't know who she is and you know Chris is? So I don't know.
So he gives the guess to Monet, and Monet gets up there and she guesses very confidently Donny Osmond, and you could see it in Chris's face that it was correct. In my opinion, I saw it anyways.
Yeah.
And so we see on the board the countdown, and it is Donny Osmond as his father, which we all knew. We could assume that it was his father. We see pictures of them together. We get a video message from Donny Osmond, and he was quite emotional. He felt he's like been always trying to measure up to a legend, and so he really wanted to win this so he could aid and fund his own personal music career.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit bad for Chris.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't deserve to be the final two because of how bad he is with knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I couldn't remember if I thought it was his father, or I think originally we thought uncle, because
Like Marie's.
I was like,
son?
why couldn't you have been not even Marie, like one of the other ones, but like why wouldn't you have picked Marie? Like why was it Donnie is as your person? So now it makes more sense. I don't know if I ever knew. I can't remember. That was a couple weeks ago.
I think I always just thought it was his father.
I can't remember.
I think we had to, just from the clues that were given.
Maybe.
Like the first three.
I definitely think initially though, when I first figured it out, it was like I didn't know whose son that was necessarily. But
I assumed obviously it was the father, but obviously it could have been any of them. Any of the six, I guess. And so he feels though that he's now created his own identity. Do you agree that he stepped out of the shadow of his father?
I don't know that. I mean, I didn't. It's not a public shadow. How do I?
Apparently.
I didn't know him, so I don't know that he. Sure, I don't know. It wasn't like in the shadow in my books. I would have saw him on the street, like you look like Donny Osmond, and walked the other way. Nobody. So sure. I mean, what is he known for now? A reality show? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you never know. He might get a little. Well, I mean, if he's not really engaged in social media and like pop culture, I don't know if it's easy to make it that kind of sheltered world this day and age. Is it?
Is he a musician? Is that what he said?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we didn't hear you play any music.
Well, if you played it in like the talent show, but he wasn't that great.
Oh God, that was the episode one. I don't remember. What did he do? Wasn't that great?
He was mediocre. He was like a 6.5.
I mean, here's the thing. The Osmonds were like, oh, we're going to get mad at me. The Osmonds are they're very talented, very professional, all that stuff that we love about them for sure. But their whole thing is a little gimmicky.
Hokey? Yeah.
A little gimmicky. It's all about like, look at all us as we're a group and we're this and we perform together and all that stuff. It's a little gimmicky, a little bit. And without that, individually, in today's environment, I don't know that Donnie would individually stand out as much as he did back then in a larger family as a group with this gimmick that they're all that, you know? What and there were family groups back then. Like, you know, you have the Jacksons, you have like, you know, a lot of TV shows were big groups, the Brady Bunch,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. It was very you know, kind of like a trope of the times. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that helped them a lot. But I don't know, I wasn't alive.
It's true though, but the idols that we have now are a lot different, and I agree with you also. It was a group, the lots of groups, musical groups, was family groups, musical families, talented families, like that was just kind of what the vibe was back then. So I'm sure he was. I saw him in Toronto, as I mentioned before. Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Given those
Um,
opportunities based off of his prior, you know, what he had done. So I'm saying they started off with this. Very talented. The whole family is, and I think, and they're very like polished, and I love seeing them. They bring a smile to my face when I see them like guest on different talk shows and things like that, or guest host even. I think they're super professional. Love that kind of stuff. So there's no shade. I saw that comment about the shade.
Well,
No
our
shade.
Johnson here is like says the Jacksons were the blueprint that they tried to replicate for sure, and I'm putting that in the nicest way possible. Wells.
But there was a lot of groups at that time. You know what I mean?
Even like if you go back a little bit further, like there's the Supremes and like the like all even like the girl groups that were going, like it was just like a group performers was definitely
a
really
lot
big
of
back
group
then.
performers, which continued into the 90s, but even outside of that, like specifically family groups, you know,
Yeah,
of the time. So
Partridge Family. Did they sing or is it just a show?
yeah, but you know, all of that. So it was a little trope.
Little trope. Well, we see Gabriel is going to have to decide whether he is going to guess or be guessed. And so we are going to stop and start this last bit of the show right now, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Like he
oh,
has to pick. He has to pick. He
say
has to
again?
pick. I said
Yeah, he has to choose
he
because
like
he knows that
you know,
she
yeah,
knows him.
yeah.
So
So like why wouldn't he pick Chris? Anyway, I mean, he must know.
he
He
must know who she
must
is.
know, and then he probably does win. Yeah, he must know. Someone must have told him. Okay.
And it would have been maybe JR. Remember the forehead, and JR, and he didn't burn that bridge with JR in the end when he could have picked JR, whatever. To how did that work? There's a time where he should have picked JR, I think, and like saved himself.
Mm.
Is that what happened? I can't remember exactly, but I remember.
If Gabe doesn't win right now, it's his own fault because he should have picked Chris then. So
to find out which one of you is going to stake your own claim to fame and walk away with $100,000.
I think he knows who she is, but he's playing it off like he don't know.
Gabriel, who do you think is Monet's?
Oh, so he already said he is a guesser? Sorry, I must have missed that. Okay. So he's guessing. Okay.
I was like, if he gives it to her,
Claim
that's crazy.
to fame.
Monet.
Oh my god, I'm like actually kind of nervous.
Kind of want to see Carly's face though too.
I believe your celebrity claim to fame is JB Smooth.
He wins. He wins.
Wow. Oh, I saw disappointing in her eyes. In her eyes
You
there.
see it right there, yeah.
Oh, she played a really good game.
How does he know? They have to show how he knows.
Gabriel, let's see if you got it right.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, Monet.
How does he know?
This is agonizing.
Hugo is such like a character.
Laying in the pool earlier, like
Such a brat. Oh my god! I mean, I know exactly who he is, you know? Like oh.
played a really good game, and I think just like last season, it could be the edit as well, but I mean, like he won a lot of competitions, and it does feel like the person who I just don't know how he knows. Like it's blowing my mind.
Right. Oh, Diva watched this morning at the edge of her seat. Wanted Monet to win so bad. She just needed to have won that last one, and she didn't win the last one.
Oh, those last couple wins were clutch. Like that, those dictated who how the rest of it went. So for sure.
Where's Carly? She pissed? Oh, there she is.
She's about to attack
Times
him.
of faith, times of doubt. There's times I thought I was out. But now I'm about to shout, baby.
Yes. Well, we're going to see his celebrity relative shortly.
Hello, man. Baby. I'm running claim to fame. This is crazy.
Oh, was that like a fake out or just like a hug? A real hug. 2 black winners in a row. Oh, yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And you know what? I think both like Monet would have been an excellent winner, absolutely. But I think Gabriel was a good winner too.
Monet! I think I had a right guess on Monet because that's the name that just kept ringing a bell.
Okay, this we're gonna find out.
So he was told. I don't love that.
I'll give you a clue, bro. He's in one of the same shows as your first.
My celebrity relative is in the comedy world.
Did they tell him, you think? Or do you think that he figured it out with their like
Still with the clue.
And when I started thinking, co-star with Spider-Man
I got Tom Holland.
and promoted where betting is legal. Julius
Oh, so maybe okay.
Caesar's Sportsbook. Then I start thinking of there's a guy who wears these black fedora hats and he always got a toothpick in his mouth.
Oh, so maybe, do you think that they're doing this after the fact just to like sell it?
I do. I don't think
And
this.
some glasses that he wore.
Like, I know you look familiar. I look just like him.
I see you. I saw you this whole time.
I think if you did, we would have heard about it.
Right.
There would have been clips of things leading.
It gotta be JB Smooth.
She looks like him.
JB Smooth.
I ain't confirming nothing now, bro, but I hope you win.
Definitely came together for Mr. JB Smooth.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's like I said, he won the last two.
Legend.
Really, I just don't know how he would be more confident in that than Chris's, which is like so obvious to me.
Right.
Monet, please tell us who you are and how you are related to JB Smooth.
She's like, he's my dad.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jerica.
I don't know who Jerica is, but like, I think of her as Monet now. Like, I don't think of her as Jerica.
My name is Jerica Monet Brooks.
Okay.
That is my amazing father, Jerry Brooks, aka JB Smooth. I'm basically the female version of him.
Definitely.
You guys know him as Leon Black from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Caesar on the Caesar Sportsbook commercials.
He's taking a lot of my money.
Yeah, explain your clues, girl.
He's in Spider-Man, Real Husbands of Hollywood. My dad is my hero. I look up to him every day. He is an amazing comedian, and he's just a legend, man. I couldn't be prouder to have him as my father.
She's so cute there.
And he's funny. He's really funny.
He's funny.
And I hope he's proud of me. He is.
Now, we do have a personal video message to share.
From the main man
Started to do these segments. Sorry, what?
So her dress, I love it too.
himself, JB Smooth.
Oh, you guessed it right. I'm JB Smooth, and this is my daughter, Jerica. I knew your personality, that big smile would pull you through. I'm so proud of you. What's up, boom?
They're like twins.
Like
Legend himself.
George's the handler thing in that outfit that he's wearing.
Say what?
Curious George's handler thing in that outfit with the yellow hat and the
True.
whole-
Monet, it was an no, Jerica. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm too used to it now. I'm so sorry. Oh, Jerica, it was an honor to have you here at Claim to Fame.
It was. She should go by Monet. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gabriel, step back up here, baby.
Aww. I mean, I think this is good for him because it seems as though like he's his is Nick's assistant, and like definitely Nick is a bigger character, but like Gabriel's also a character in his own right, and like
Yeah.
the fact that I feel like this is actually him being able to step out of his brother's shadow a little bit. Like he carried the show. He did a good job.
Yeah, great job.
My Ruby. You just bet $100,000. Congratulations.
I want 100 grand. Fudge.
Thank y'all.
Before we officially send you on your way, we still have one last question. Who is Gabriel's claim to fame?
Are they all gonna say it together, do you think?
Yeah, I'm like, do they all know? They must.
They all know. Well, Monet's gonna scream it, I think.
They all talked.
Let's take a look at the screen.
Let's do it.
Do you think that Chris will know who he is?
Look at
Chris
that
had a
smile.
little thing.
Like, it's so easy.
Chris had a little like a little,
Oh, what?
maybe Chris had a little confessional where it's like maybe it was the host, you know,
Oh.
earlier in the episode. So
Wait, what? Yeah, you know that?
We knew it.
Incredible.
Wow.
You kept your secret the
I mean, he had them guessing wrong for a long time.
yeah,
entire time. That's amazing.
I was way off, Chris.
Tell us finally who you are.
Oh, so Jane really did think it was somebody else. She's like, I was way off the whole time. Oh my God. That's okay. Amazing. Gabriel teaches acting to inner city youth. Amazing. I did not know that. That's yes, Sophie Nick Cannon will be the Ken Bacon with 6 years of separation with all those children. Yes, everybody.
are they gonna do a show? Is Nick Cannon gonna be the new Kardashian?
I mean, I
Reality
could see him do
show.
it.
Yeah.
Because he's had another baby since the show aired or was filmed.
That's why they had to do like greater than 10 babies because they knew there was more coming.
Well, they said greater than 10, and then maybe a new one was revealed because then they changed it to 11.
Yeah, it was
And
like,
then he has had one since, like last November, he had another one. Nick Cannon are best friends, and Kevin Hart.
oh wow,
I've never heard that, but I don't necessarily know.
Kevin Hart has some interesting views on things that I don't necessarily agree with. But
Chris is the host of Show Your Daddy. Keep it on.
Chris, hosts
The host.
show your daddy competed on.
Oh, okay. So Nick Cannon is the host of Masked Singer. Which
Oh
Chris
yeah,
is
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. Which is his father, Donnie.
Yeah, Jane didn't know. I'm surprised. Very, very surprised. All right, let's see him gush about Nick Cannon.
What is your real name and how are you related to the amazing Nick Cannon?
Man, so my name is Gabriel Cannon.
Like he didn't even change his name.
Nick is my older brother.
Oh,
My dad gave Nick his big old camera, and we became his little actors, and that's
Very cute.
kind of why he became the youngest staff writer in Hollywood and created the show Wild 'N Out. He
Oh my God. Look at Gabriel.
They really don't look anything alike.
Like nothing. So maybe they just have the same father?
Oh,
A
I
different
never thought
mother?
of that. Maybe they're only half siblings. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
Well, because he just said our father.
Mm-hmm.
host, Masked Singer. He married Miss Mariah Carey. I had the privilege of going on tour with her.
Hey.
So that rap stuff, I've been doing that.
I love him.
Especially Drumline. That's like the best
And
movie ever.
Drumline changed my life, y'all. It's an honor to be here with all of y'all and just to represent everything he did and done
And babies he's had.
and continue.
So good to be able to talk about it.
Say again?
Must be so good to be able to talk about it now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, okay, I'm holding this in for,
Well, Gabriel, he has something he would like to say to you too.
Can we just see this?
Gabriel Ezra Cannon. Congratulations, you won. You know, I'm out here on tour. I wish I could be there to celebrate with you. Yes, I am Nick Cannon, and Gabriel is my little brother. I mean, you know, he's way bigger than me, but
He's hot. Nick Cannon's really hot.
you know, genetics. But enjoy that new claim to fame. Loan me some money.
How much money do you think Nick Cannon has? I mean, he has a lot of babies, so maybe not that much, but like, is he super duper loaded?
I would think with the mask, but at the same time, like, how much money is he paying? I don't know. Nick Cannon, like, where did all those tattoos on your like head and all the way up your neck and almost on your face come from? Like, it's just, he had such a shift in the last like 5 years. It was like all these babies, all these tattoos. Really
Well,
interesting.
maybe it's because like maybe he's really hurt by the breakup with Mariah.
Oh no. If you ever watched America's Got Talent, he looked like he was like running on, and that was the last few years of his marriage with her, and he looked like he was like running through it. And I was like, I was happy for both of them that they were no longer in that marriage because
First rule in Hollywood, never give your family money.
Gabriel, congratulations. I think it's safe to say you stepped out of the shadows and truly made a name for yourself.
He did. I'm proud of you, Gabriel. I mean, I think he probably played the game the best. For the fact that like he won when he won a lot in the end. You know, people didn't take him seriously in the beginning. He, you know, like Carly said that he's stupid.
Most successful liar, I feel like, as
He was
well.
able to withhold it for the longest.
Yeah. No, I think he deserved the win. I think he honestly played the best game. I do.
Obviously Monet was definitely close.
I just thought Monet was going to win for some reason, but because it just felt like no one knew, and I was like, I don't know how she loses at this point. And also, like, it wasn't just, you know, pick your favorite smash. Oh.
Oh, so this is interesting. So Tamika thinks that he is scared to die.
Who, Nick?
Oh, because Nick has lupus.
I don't really know anything about lupus, unfortunately. I didn't know he had lupus.
I'm remembering now, but that makes sense, and probably why that would make sense why he would want to have a lot of children, just to feel as though he's going to live on. Oh, that's sad. Well, we love you, Nick. We love you, Gabriel. We love all of y'all. This whole family. All right, it's this last little bit.
Wow. That is it for us here at Claim to Fame. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Deserving winner, Gabriel. Congratulations. Thank you for this amazing season. Carly.
I've had the best time with this experience, man. This is a one in a lifetime.
Aww.
Speaking of experience, we know you didn't win the money, but I got you some claim.
Everybody know I let you win.
Hey, shout out to you for being a team player. We was killing it.
We was killing it. But you see how close I was without really.
I mean, they did work really well too. They honestly, they were great.
We had two different strategies.
We definitely did, and mine won.
That's true. That is true. Oh my gosh, we came to an end. I think it was a satisfying ending. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And now they can all be friends, and yeah. Good. I liked the cast a lot, actually. They did a good job.
Cast was great. I thought, yeah, this was a great season. Thank you, Jonathan, for covering it with me. Now, do we want to share with the viewers who your celebrity relative is?
Sure. I mean, you'll have no idea who
I'll
it
find him.
is unless you are a hockey fan. And I will tell you that he is, without saying who it is yet, I will tell you that he is a captain of a of a hockey, and it's my cousin. Yeah. And,
Which team? Which team? Which
oh,
team?
okay, you wanna know okay, reveal. Is anyone guessing? Is anyone guessing it?
Anybody guessing who his celebrity relative is? So he's revealed to us
I'm not an Osman.
that he's not an Osman, that he's not related to anybody that was ever on The Sopranos. He's related to a Canadian athlete who is his cousin, who leads a lot of people. Did you say the H word? He
Yeah.
said the H word, that he's a hockey captain. Do we have
Yeah.
any guesses of who Jonathan's celebrity relative is?
Watch no one watch hockey. I mean, I don't. So
No, thank you, Kathy. This season was super fun. I really appreciate you allowing us to have our reveals and holding down the fort with the chat. So much appreciated for you the whole season. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kathy. No.
not Wayne Gretzky.
That's a good guess, though.
Good guess. Someone that's a current captain. I don't know what that is. Current captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. My celebrity relative is.
I'm gonna find the picture.
Are you gonna show it, or do you want me to say it?
I don't remember what his name is. Oh, is it him? I think so. Okay.
We have the same name.
Oh, last name?
No, not last name.
Oh, but like not the full name, or does he go by the shortened version? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a photo of him. Okay, ready?
Yes, my celebrity relative is. This is the nearest one. I kind of have two. One's through marriage, but
Okay, I got it.
you can put. They're not going to know who it is. You can just put it.
Oh,
up.
what it says?
John Tavares.
John Tavares, captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's fun.
Fun fact is that him and I, through marriage, are technically, I guess, related in some level to Justin Bieber. Because on that side of my family, Justin's dad, Jeremy, married our cousin.
There you go.
I don't know anything about hockey either, let's be honest.
Me neither, but now I know that Jonathan Oliveira is. Are you first cousins?
We are. Well, wait, hold on. I always get the confused with. No, he's not my aunts or uncles, whatever. But it's like, I don't know if it's officially like when you use once removed. I don't know when you do that correctly versus like if it's a second cousin. Basically, his grandmother, my tia Ida, and my grandfather are brother and sister.
Second cousins.
Sure.
Yes, second cousins. No, when's removed? I don't know. Hold on.
I always get those confused when you remove that.
If it was your cousin, if it was your first cousin, it would be.
It's not my first cousin.
No, if it was, it would be your mom or father, and their mom or father were brother and sister. So,
is it
second cousin would have been the children of your first cousin. So I think going that way,
it's once removed.
First cousin once removed. Huh.
I always get them confused.
Oh no, but okay, so you say second cousin is correct, but it's his grandparents are related, not his parents.
Yeah, my grandparents or my grandfather.
So you both have the same grandparents?
No, they're brother and sister.
So so your grandfather, sorry, and his grandmother.
Yeah, they both since passed on, but also like my grandfather's sister, the Tiida, she's passed away as well, but she would go to like events that Justin Bieber was at because in that side of the family is also um, uh, the granddaughter married Jeremy, Justin's father. There's a lot of we're Portuguese, okay? There's a lot of
I'm gonna have to figure out if that's correct, but I'll believe you for now, R. Johnson.
the second cousins are with this. See, I always get those confused. Second cousins, when correctly versus. I would love to host a reality show. Thank you.
I know Jonathan would love to host a reality show. Let's put it out in the universe.
I'm gonna host
Traitors season 2.
Traitors. I'll host a game show.
Wait, Sophie, hey. You had a feeling when we found it would be lame?
Because you don't know hockey. If you knew hockey, people lose their crap over it sometimes. But if you don't know, I mean, I could have went the other way with Justin Bieber, but that's a stretch. That's through marriage. That's a stretch.
I mean, on the show it would have worked, or last season. Yeah, he's related to Ryan Gosling. Exactly. Well, thank you, Jonathan, for having a celebrity relative that we could play around with this season. Thank you, everybody in the chat once again. Jonathan, do you have anything that you want to share with the people before we say goodbye till next year?
Sure. If you're in Toronto, go check out my new series that's premiering at TIFF. Bria Mac, It's a Life. It's a comedy series, and it will be on Crave coming soon. And yeah.
Amazing.
Exciting.
Will do. I'm going to force Jonathan out of hiding, and we're going to go into the premiere together.
Yeah, sold out.
What? You don't get tickets?
No, nobody gets tickets. Sold out for sure.
Well, can you get us to the party?
I don't do parties. But it's sold out.
Can you get me to the party?
Well, the last showing is still, but it's early in the morning. Is still there's some tickets, but any of the other ones it's all sold out. But anyway, check it out on Crave because it's it's only 6 episodes, but I'm sure there'll be a season 2.
Got it. Good. Well, thank you again, Jonathan. Everybody check out Bria Mac on Crave, or if you're able to catch that last screening on the final morning of TIFF, that would be super. Is it on final morning of TIFF?
It's not, I don't know when it's on.
Whenever that's the last tickets that are left, just get a ticket.
Check it out.
Come to Toronto.
Google it and tell you what it's about. It's comedy. It's fun.
And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like this video. Let us know if you thought it was a successful season. Let us know if you have any celebrity relatives. Maybe we can play this game in the comments and we can, still have some fun guessing celebrities.
Who called me lame?
Sophie.
Sophie, do you have any celebrity relatives?
I don't. Hopefully I will be the celebrity relative to like my nieces and nephews in the future.
Yes.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll see you guys next year, I guess. Ciao, everybody. Thanks so much, chat.